Alright, so solving equations is all good and fun until someone throws in fractions. So you're going to talk about how to eliminate the fraction from an equation before we go ahead and solve it. So all of these key terms and concepts over here, we're talking about least common denominator, least common multiple. In other words, that is the smallest number that all of the numbers can be divided by. That's what we're looking for, okay? So this example here is showing you that in the denominator you have 4 and 2. So 2 can't be divided by 4, but 4 can be divided by 2, so we're going to use 4. And what they're going to do is multiply every term in the equation by 4. So it would be 4 times x over 4, 4 times negative 1 over 2, and 4 times 2. What this does is eliminates the denominator. 4 divided by 4 goes away, so that's how you just get x. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so this part would go away, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Then it sets you up with a simple equation where we would solve by adding 2 to both sides and getting x equals 10. Okay? So down here you have another example, so you can take a look at that if you want to, but I'm going to move on to these ones down here to show you how to do it. So I have 3 over 5 times x plus 2 over 5 equal to 4. So the denominator, I have 5 and 5. Well, I can divide 5 and 5, obviously both of them, by 5. So my least common multiple there is going to be 5. So what I'm going to do is take this and multiply both of these by 5. Make sure you do it to the term on this side as well. Okay, so you're multiplying everything by 5. What happens then is that these cancel. You get 3x plus these cancel, 2 equal to 4 times 5 is 20. Now if you struggle with fractions, that's what the calculator is for. Turn it on, put your 5 in parentheses, then in order to get that fraction set up, we go alpha y equals, enter. That's not what I wanted. 5 parentheses times alpha y equals, enter. 3 over 5, so 3 in the top, 5 in the bottom. Come out and see that you get that 3. That's where 3x comes from. Okay, and then if you want to do 5 times 2 over 5, I'll do the same thing. 5 times alpha y equals, enter for a fraction setup. 2 over 5, and I get 2. So that's where that came from. Okay, so if you don't understand the whole canceling process, you can just go and put it in the calculator to see what you get. Right, and then for this you would just go ahead and solve by doing your inverse operations. So 3x is equal to 18, and then you would multiply by 1/3 or divide by 3, and x equals 6. Okay? So back to the concept. Over here on the denominators, I have 16, I have 4, and I have 2. So I'm going to look at the largest number. 16 I can obviously divide by 16. I can divide it by 4, and I can divide it by 2. So 16 is going to be our least common multiple, or least common denominator. That means I'm going to multiply each term here by 16. So I'll have 16 times x over 16 plus 16 times 1 over 4 equal to 16 times 1/2. Okay? If there's no number in front of x, we know that's a 1. So I'm going to use the calculator just to show you. I've got 16 times alpha y equals, enter, 1 over 16. That's going to give me 1, so this becomes 1x. But let's do it again. 16 times alpha y equals, enter, 1 over 4 this time. That's going to give us 4, so this turns into 4, equal to 16 times 1/2, and because I know that's 8, I'm just going to write it. And then we would go ahead and solve. We have no more fractions, no more mess, so we take away 4 from each side, and we get x equal to 4. All right? Flipping to the next page. Least common multiple for this number over here. I can't divide 2 by 6, but I can divide 6 by 2. So 6 is going to be my least common multiple. That means I'm going to multiply all of the terms by 6 in order to get rid of fractions. So I have 6 times x over 2 plus 6 times x over 6 equal to 6 times 2. Use the calculator. 6 times, if there's no number in front of that x, it's a 1, so alpha y equals 1 over 2. That's going to be 3x plus 6 over 6. You know that's going to cancel, so that's just going to be 1x equal to 6 times 2, 12. And then you're back to simple equations again. 4x equals 12. Multiply by 1 over 4, or divide by 4, whatever your preference, x equal to 3. All right? Now 54, we come into a little issue. I have 4, which I can't divide by 3, and I have 3 that I can't divide by 4. So there's no least common multiple here. There's no least common denominator for me to pick. So instead I have to figure out what one is. That means I need the number that can be divided by both 4 and 3. So the smallest number that can be divided by both 4 and also 3 is 12. My least common denominator or multiple in this case is going to be 12. So that means I have to multiply each part of these by 12. Each term is going to get multiplied by 12. So 12 times 3 over 4x equal to 12 times 1/3 x plus 5. Now you know the calculator steps, so we'll do them. 12 times alpha y equals enter 3 over 4. That's 9x equals 12 times alpha y equals enter 1/3. 4x plus, oops, what did I forget? That last term, don't forget any terms. 5 times 12, 60. And then you can go ahead and solve. Whoops. Minus 4x, always move the variable first to move the smaller one. You get 5x equals 60. And if you do that math, you're going to get x equal to 12. On 56, there's only one denominator here, only one fraction. So that means that's the number that we're going to use. We'll do 4 times 3 over 4 times x plus 3 equals 4 times 9. This makes this cancel, and I have 3 times x plus 3 equal to 36. Now, I did this before I distributed, because if I distributed twice, I would have just had to do more math with the fraction. So get rid of the fraction first, and then distribute. Do your work here. 3x plus 9 equals 36. I'll have you finish this one. Okay. 50. Again, we have 4 and 3. I can't divide 4 by 3. I can't divide 3 by 4. So I have to figure out what the smallest number is that I can divide with both of those. So we're back to using 12, because 12 is the smallest number that can be divided by 4 and also 3. So we're going to multiply this whole thing by 12 every term. And see what happens. All right, so I'm going to have you finish 55 and attempt the second 55. Looks like 50, 50, 55. And don't worry about 58. We'll practice that together. Have a great night.